and welcome back to Beyond the Boundary Road. My name's Jadine Croft and I'm here with our language researcher, Des Crump.
Hello.
How are you? Good to see you. So for today, we will explore the relationship between language and music and see if it holds a key in revitalizing language. So Des, how important is music and songs in First Peoples culture?
Well, traditionally it was always a way of passing on culture, be it through storytelling and songs, or songs that told stories, or whether it was more for ceremonial use. So it was a very important part in traditional times. And so today for language revival, it's important that those traditional songs are still kept alive and used in language lessons, but also looking at new ways to bring music and songs into language revival as well.
How have the Aboriginal languages and words, how have they been preserved into songs?
Well, traditionally with a lot of the language recordings that were done in the 50s and 60s in particular, a lot of songs were also recorded at the same time, and so that's been another source of language information as well. And so some of those were made into commercial recordings. So for example, Margaret Laurie did some recordings of songs and dances in the Torres Strait in the 1960s, and so that was originally done on a vinyl record, but now it's been digitised and made available as a CD-ROM. So there's that sort of historical material.
Yeah. So these days, like with the contemporary music, it's seen a wide variety of genres, like the hip-hop and the pop and all that. So did the locals also have that back in their time?
I don't know if they had the same sort of variety. I mean, I think there were different songs for different occasions, like certainly the more formal songs for the ceremonies and those special occasions, but also there was the fun songs and that. For example, most of the language groups seem to have a poor fellow song about some poor fellow who's a long way away from country, he's got no food, he's got no money, and so there's versions of that around Brisbane and Moreton Bay. There's versions from Bundjalung in northern New South Wales, and even some from out west as well. So there's those sort of variations of songs, and I think there were also little sort of fun songs or nonsense songs that parents like to sing to their children as well.
Yeah. So tell us about some notable examples of languages being preserved in music.
Well, some of the best ones are probably from the Torres Strait, because a lot of their songs and language was recorded fairly early by, first of all, the Haddon and Cambridge expedition back in 1900s. But some of those cylinder records have been turned into digital recordings now. And then Margaret Laurie then came along in the 1960s, and then now there's still people recording songs and even contemporary artists like Christine Anu creating records or producing albums in language as well. And then recently Emma Donovan did one for Gambangan language down in New South Wales.
Yeah, there's a lot. So how has foreign music like American hip-hop, how has that had an impact upon the youth, and do you think it's a negative trend?
Well, I know some people are concerned about it, but I think it's been useful for young people as a way of bringing their language into the hip-hop genre. And so there's been some hip-hop artists. I mean, we've had some in the Brisbane area, then the Street Warriors down in New South Wales, for example. They've won a Deadly Award for one of their songs that incorporated the Awabakal language as part of their song.
Yeah, so do you think we'll be seeing more examples of old languages and words being preserved in music in the future?
I think so, because as language programs are starting to happen more in the communities, they're wanting to find new ways to learn them, especially with the young ones. And so songs like Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes, Hokey Pokey and nursery rhymes are proving really popular, and so they've been translated into that local language.
Yeah. So does that still play an important role in Aboriginal identity?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think there's especially now there's a ready commercial market for Aboriginal music and Torres Strait Islander music, and it's I guess becoming more into the mainstream now, where in the past it used to be something that was very much only the independent labels or like Central Australian Aboriginal Media Association. They would be the only ones that would have Aboriginal music or Aboriginal songs being being played on a regular basis, but now they've got it right across Australia, and it's in most of the I guess the radio stations playlist now.
Do we still hear about like folklore songs being passed through today's generation?
I think there's some, because there's some of the old recordings, like for example my great auntie up at Rawabinda in the 1960s. Oh, she spoke 5 languages, but there's 2 languages in particular that they recorded her singing a couple of songs from out west, and so that one of those was a traditional song about the messenger bird, the Jerry Jerry, or the woolly wagtail, and the other one was more of a recent song about a stockman working on a property.
So, can you sing us a song in your language, or can you tell us like how to say body parts, so like head, shoulders, knees and toes in your language? Yeah,
well, head, shoulders, knees and toes is very popular with a lot of the language classes and programs, and so in my language in Gamilaroi we say binna for ear, mil for eye, mara for hands, and dinner for feet, and so it's a variation. So it goes binna mil mara dinner, binna mil mara dinner, yulingar yulingar yulingar, which means to dance.
Yeah. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, Des, for joining us. So next week, we're going to explore technology and its impact on language. See you soon after the break on Beyond the Boundary Road.